So we have our ball doing what balls do. We need to change how we actually. Yeah, I was filling out the tooltips. I should keep doing that. Yeah. So welcome. I'm Kirk or Ambient Energy, whatever. I'm the engineer on Brackensack. I'm a lot less interesting than Adam. That's pretty much all you need to know about. Can't do your own emotes. Time for sleep. I see how it is. Yeah, I don't even have any commands. Like, that's all I got. That's all I got right there is shitty commands. Also, I really need a damn haircut. It's getting embarrassing. I mean, I'm like self-employed too, and I'm still ashamed of how my hair is stupid right now. I need to go outside, but like I'm on a stupid sleep schedule where I'd have to like wake up in the equivalent of the middle of the night to go get my hair cut because I'm like asleep during the day right now. Alright, so set this to kill ball to affect ball rotation for this bubble. Yeah, one thing, Adam, I'll probably send you a mock-up of the level transition UI or something like that. Kind of an idea. We'll see what we can do, but it'll be like the Lord of Stupid Hair. Is that you? Are you the Lord of Stupid Hair? In fact, why don't I just do a mock-up right now? What I think this will look like. So basically, what we've got right now for the post game is we got like this big ass chat window, you know, with like text and shit in it, and then we've got like a scroll bar there, and then we've got stats over here with like, you know, somebody did some shit and you know, like that. What we need is we need a lot more than this. So we probably need to have a second screen, I think, after like the stats or something like that. So I have like a second post game screen. And I was thinking that it needs to have like, we need to have like these big list option things or something. And it'll have like, we need like the vote numbers. Like this has got like 1 vote, this has 2, 0, this has 3, and this has 0. And we've got like a little picture of, you know, like the map, cool shit like that. And it'd say like, forest, night, no hitting, floaty ball. And we'd have kind of maybe similar things. We'd have like these kind of these preset game modes or something. And stuff like that. So it's like, oh, for next map, some shit like that. And then, you know, people be chatting or something like this, like, you know, stuff like this. And then you'd like click on your stuff, so you'd be able to click on it. Something like that, you know, where you go click on it. Thank you for following into the Ikiosi, or into the Ecosi. So something like that. I'm trying to think about it, but basically, I don't think having like a huge ass list of options is the right call for having like a good next server flow. There's like too much shit there. So I think some like kind of playlist sort of thing would be a decent plan, where like this option would be like new options, you know, like something else. And there'd be like some standard ones that are like always there. So, you know, maybe like there's maybe like 5 or 6 options, or, you know, and the last option is get new options, and people vote on it, and then it just kind of does what it does, right? Thank you for following, Squirrel. For all the best in class Unreal 4 development and swearing at the same time. Post game of scores, click through to vote for next map. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like a kind of a, there might be like a little back button down here, like if you want to go back to the stats or something. Something like that, something simple. And this vote for next map thing may also be like a complete overlay or something. Like maybe you could even access this by just doing like /vote or some crap in the game. Any reason it couldn't have tabs? I don't like tabs. They make UI complicated and shit messy. But like you change one tab or change how the tab contains it. Anyway, I was thinking this might also be something like if you pull up like /vote or something, and if like, you know, a majority of people want to do vote, then it would like bring up this screen for everybody or something. And then while you're still playing or whatever, you could be like, we should do this one. I mean, of course you could troll with voting, but if like enough people click yes or use chat to say like, you know, /vote to vote to chat, to vote. So think of something like that. So we'd make some game modes that would be loaded up and kind of work like that. So do we need to have a big conversation about it, or do you think, yeah, like vote kick, vote map, vote? I don't think we need like vote non-contact. I think it would just be vote map and whatever. And then the map would have like that sort of stuff. And so should we have like a design conversation about this whole thing, or do you think I should just go ahead and implement the simple sort of thing like this, and we go from there? Because it doesn't have to be today, but I think it, you know, just like get a rev on it and see what it looks like and all that, and then, you know, it should be good enough. Oh, this is just the general idea of that stuff. So, I mean, like the voting and all the details, yeah, we can have a call about this. It's more just the general plan for voting. If that's like, no, I thought voting was bullshit. I don't like any of this. I hate you, and I hope you die. But yeah, I don't need a. I'm probably not gonna be working on that today. I don't think. Might be thinking about it though. The other consideration is player progression and spinning points. Yeah, I think that'll be post match as well. But you know, that's gonna have to be a separate screen too, because it's got its all of its shit. So I think kind of the post game will probably have like a kind of a flow like you normally have with like Halo and other games like that, where you know, it'll go into like the post game screen where it pops up stats, and then you hit A to go to the next screen, which has, you know, like your loadout or whatever the fuck, and you know, that sort of thing. And you could go back to stats if you really want to. But I don't think they should be tabs just because of tabs fighting with each other. I think they'd be separate screens that just kind of, you know, go to the next one or something. Yeah, if you don't touch anything, you just get loaded in the next match. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I do think there'll be like a ready up system though. So like if everybody votes, like it'll just go ahead and start. You know, like so at least. So we don't need a ready up system. Just the voting should just work. I think. So. All right. So ball gravity. I'll use this to change how much gravity affects the ball. Change this to affect how hits affect the ball. And this is change this to change the ball size. Any thoughts on a warm-up mode? The way people run around? Yeah, kind of like what you do with Unreal Tournament, where you can run around and look at the map or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything like that in there for this. I think what we're going to be able to get in for this update is probably just fixing the broken crap that we have for the lobby. There was one fun thing that I was messing around with earlier, which was if you have like a gigantic ball, it's actually kind of fun just to fuck around with it. Because you can just like mess with this thing. And you can do stuff like get out of here, you fucking bots. You can do stuff like block the goal. It's like, bots, you can't score. Freaking plebs. What you do? Yeah, get wrecked. I fucker. Punching me? Get the fuck out of here. So I don't know. It's actually, it would take some work to do, but I think I was kind of messing around with some of this stuff, and if we actually had like some physics-driven objects, there's actually some cool interactions that I was seeing. Yeah, no, you're not scoring. Fuck off. Unlockable team ability friendly boulder. You just drop a steamroller on him. That'd be pretty fucking funny. Alright, so let's make sure the ball is affected by gravity. We got that. Where are we actually hitting the ball? I think that's in the player. Yeah, so it's like slide active and crap like that. Low hit ability, low hit active. Alright, so we have hit ball. And we've got like, it's just a fucking mess. Yeah, so like low hit force F. Let's see, we have effects, we have high hit, I hit force. Yeah, okay, so we have like all these forces, and I can modify those. You try to launch Fatsock off a seesaw using physics objects on stream. I mean, that would work. It would totally work. There's some problems with like having us run and jump on like the physics objects, but there's no reason we can't have the physics objects interact with each other. Like, because the problem is if the player can get stuck by the ball or can do anything to these physics objects, like walking on them seems like it's okay in some situations. But like Bitey doesn't have any weight or anything else like that, so you can't just like jump on a seesaw and have it fling up without doing more code. But we could at least have physics objects that interact with each other in the ball. I don't know if interact directly with players is going to work too well. Just because of how all the movement stuff works. He tried to stomp on the seesaw. Yeah, Bitey doesn't. He's not a real physics character. He would. He's hovering, so he would just hover over it. You need to drop something else on something else. So what you need is like. We need something like this. So when you simulate physics. This is a fucking disaster. Oh man, physics games are always fun as shit. Alright, so what we need is a bigger ball. It just fucking fell through the planet. Alright, so generate. Yeah, we need terrain for this. We need CCD, so it's not complete horseshit. And we need mass. We need mass for this guy. So how heavy is this fucking thing? So this thing needs to be super heavy. Mass. Mass scale per instance scaling of mass. Alright, let's just make this like 99999 or something. And see if the ball fucks with it. Alright, so this thing's like super heavy now. So let's make the ball even heavier. Mass in kilograms. Alright. Let's make it a 1 metric ton. And we'll make this like a 10-ton ball. We'll see what happens. The ball actually moves the joint. Yeah. That's how this shit works. The ball actually pushed this thing. Just run off the top of it. It's amazing how well Bitey actually can run around all this bullshit physics. It's so fucking stupid. It's resting on this tiny platform. Alright, so I think this will work if I'm not in the way. But obviously what we need to do is we need to zoom out so we can actually see what's going on. A hidden training level full of just all this shit. Just like really shitty sounds for everything colliding. This thing needs to be farther up. Just just scrap the game and make Incredible Machine. Alright, the ball is gone. Where'd the fucking plane go? Is it just out in space somewhere? Is it coming back? It's like Bitey's nightmare. He has to fight Andros. Running through, damn it. It's bullshit. There we go. Now they're starting to fuck with physics enough. They fucking scored. Anyway, yeah. So experimenting with some of the physics stuff. Just some of it was so stupid that I think we might. I think we might have to do something with physics at some point here. We'll see though. Bitey lifting a 10-ton ball. Yeah. We can Sisyphus that thing up the hill. And if we had it specifically so like this is a complete bullshit level or something, you know, like physics isn't supposed to be amazing, it's just supposed to be hilarious, that would probably be ideal. You know, because then we don't have to fix all the broken crap. We can just be like, well, what level do you want to play? Oh yeah, the April Fool's, you know, physics based shitty level that doesn't work at all. You know, that would Death Atoms. Yeah, like we could totally make it so you could crush people. Just have Bitey get smashed into a bloody smear. Man, that would be funny. I mean, in a horrible, macabre way that, you know, should never be talked about. It would still be funny. Alright, so the high hit force and all these other things, we want to have them multiplied by the override when we make the level. We're going to snag this so we can actually do that. Because we're setting our physics linear velocity here and everything like that. So, yeah. Okay. So when we start up, let's make sure that the values are instance editable, exposed on spawn. Yeah, okay, so we're all good with that. We want the level when we start, and then we'll set the overrides for this stuff. So it's going to be on begin play. Let's make a new function. Grab physics, update physics from level. Alright, so we're going to do get level actor is valid. Let's see, what did I call everything? There's ball. Alright, so we want to grab the linear damping multiplier. It's the ball hit speed. Get ball hit speed multiplier. There it is. Okay. And we're just going to have our hit multiplier. So maybe this should just be on this guy. So we'll set our hit multiplier to this. Otherwise, we're just going to set it to 1. Bitey's nightmare. Real fat sack follows him around. Bitey has perfectly cut and combed hair. And the fat sack's, and he's like really slow, right? Like that would be his nightmare, where kind of like in Water Lollies where he can't run around, right? Or maybe he tries to run, but everything else is faster than him. Kind of the opposite. Alright, so we want this in the event graph on initialize. We'll just throw this thing over to the left. Set lighting channel. Alright, yeah, this is enable. Alright, cool. So we got that. Let's call update physics from level. I guess we can just get rid of some of this too. Alright. Though I kind of think Bitey's living in his own nightmare right now. Like, everyone else has a friend except for him. It's like everyone else has a family. Why don't I have a family? Yeah, it's because the plot to Brackenwood is actually the same plot as The Force Awakens, where Bitey was actually just abandoned by his whatever the fuck parents. Oh yeah, spoilers on the first 2 minutes of Force Awakens. They're on Tatooine for parts of it. What? I know. I was surprised too because they only showed that in all the trailers. Okay, so we're going to grab our physics. Now we need to actually use our physics in our player. So let's start with the low hit. So low hit force. Low hit reflect. Yeah, okay, so this is where we want to find it. So get low hit force, and we want to multiply this by hit multiplier. Okay, so that's used there. It's also used here. This is going to be just, I gotta go do some tedious node dragging. Yeah, why don't we just have it also affect the player hits? Why not? It's like a hit multiplier, right? Should be fine. Alright, so we got that, so we're going to want the high hit next, so high hit force. Alright, so that works. So that's the high and the low hit. Now we need the slide hit. Oh, man, there's a lot of these. Alright then. All the abilities, all the time. Alright, slides in there. Now we want the pound. Pound Air Force. Let's get that first. Yeah, you can hit people in the air and on the ground. And if you're good enough with the pound, you can actually double hit people, because you'll hit them in the air on the way down, and then when you actually hit the ground, you will hit them once more. So it is possible. So that was the Air Force. Ground Pound Impact Force. Alright, here's this. Alright, the other thing is the pop-up. So that is the defend. Ooh, the defend force. Yeah, okay, so no references to defend force? Interesting. Yeah, so I guess the force of it is completely determined by how fast you're going and everything else. So actually, we'll just... well, we should... Alright, so why don't we do that? So I guess what we want here is the force here needs to be multiplied like this. Alright, so that'll change everything about it, I believe. I really don't know how this will work for some of it, but we can at least have a little bit of fun with it. Let's make sure we can still hit things. And that's not all screwed up. Alright, Endoscorp, you have a good night, sir. Alright, so if we go to the arena level, and we go to the ball, I want to change the ball scale to like 4, and I want to change the gravity to 2. So super high grav and super big ball. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Get in there, you bastard. You big bitch, get in the goal. Alright, so that works pretty well, actually. Alright, so we have the arena level, we've got the ball, linear damping, let's just change that to 0, let's change the angular to 0, and the multiplier to like 10, so we can punch this ball at lightning speeds and it never slows down. It'll just be a challenge not to reset the damn thing. It's obviously too fucking fast. Just this giant fucking thing. They just immediately go. Bots don't waste any time. They're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna lose this match. And they just decide to lose immediately. And they're all laughing and cheering like a bunch of assholes. Oh man, that's great. The ball hit speed affects the players too. So you can punch people across the map. Bam. Shit. They fucking nailed me. God. Hey, well, they can still score, so I got that going for them. Alright, so let's change the hit multiplier to like 0.5, the gravity multiplier to 2, and yeah, well, this will be like a super big, super heavy ball. We can see how that works. Pop-up just ignores physics. How the fuck did they... Oh, man. So one other thing to do would be to actually change, if we're going to experiment with having the ball be gigantic or not gigantic or whatever, if we actually change our static mesh here from being player body to being like terrain, whoops, yeah, so I think, yeah, I guess I shouldn't screw with this too much. But if we change, I think, yeah, it's terrain. If we just do terrain, let's try it and see what it does. Can we like run on top of this gigantic ball as it's flying around? No. No, we cannot. But we should be able to. Let's... So player body, let's have it collide. Okay, so now we can stand on top of our giant fat sack. It's having some problems with that. I've done it. I've killed the legendary fat sack. It's really hard to stay on this thing. He's getting stuck on the fucking background. Alright. Yeah, so it totally doesn't work. But it's good enough. Oh, damn. Bot fucking ground pounded me off of the platform. What a bitch. Alright, so I'm just gonna revert those, because they obviously work, so that'll be good. Alright, so we got level specific physics override stuff in there. We also have the emissive colors, login page hooks input, yeah. Alright, so another thing was for the team, for the player, let's make a, it's going to be enable drop shadow for players. Let's just put this under players. And let's add a simple drop shadow thing. Alright, so what's the drop shadow thing going to be? It's going to be something that follows the player and casts a shadow. So I think it'll be an effect. So if we go to effects, Brackensack, player, I think it's just player team? Where is it? Yeah, FX player team. Alright, let's duplicate this. Call it FX player drop shadow. And so we've got this. Let's view our window. Where the fuck is viewport? There it is. So we don't have a player aura. What we got is auto kill on stop. No, we don't need that. We just want like a piece of geometry in here. So we want like a sphere. Sort of thing that we can just kind of throw in here. That so let's see. For its lighting, we want cast shadow, but we don't want visible. Does not cast a shadow. Hidden in game. Whether to hide the primitive in game if primitive is false. Alright, so hidden shadow. If true, the primitive will cast shadows even if be hidden is true. Controls whether the primitive should cast shadows when hidden. This flag is only used if cast shadows is true. Alright. So hidden, whether to hide the primitive in game. Okay, so we do something like this. Alright, so we should be able to just like drag this drop shadow on here. And as we can see, there is a shadow under it. So let's make this thing a little bit bigger maybe. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. Let's make sure the shadow actually exists. Yeah, so as we can see, there is we can actually stand on the invisible circle. And we can jump through it. Alright. So this thing will not have any collision. So collision is no collision. Do not generate overlaps. And we probably don't want a sphere. We probably just want like a bot. Well, we do actually want a sphere because of, you know, to drop shadow. It needs to be a fucking round thing, right? Right? We'll just yell it at him and tell him to make some geometry in Maya or some crap anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So, what we want to do... Thank you for following Mistgate. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am really not doing anything useful at the moment. I'm just getting a few tasks that were asked of me, and trying to get them, trying to kind of explore them a little bit. All right, so on initialize, we're going to want to let's actually duplicate this. Let's make level specific effects. All right, so get drop shadow. Yeah. All right, so if this is true, then we're going to branch on it. So if that's true, then we're going to make a drop shadow effect. So alright, so we'll make our player drop shadow. Alright, so it's like locked effect. What is it? It's gonna be something. Where's the team crap? Set controllable, set nameplate, reset effects flags, stun, defend, directional movement. Reset ability? No. What is this? Reset effects flag. Yeah, useless. Create nameplate. Create effect by class. Player name. Lock to bottom, set for player. Yeah, that thing is a little bit squirrely. I need the slide effects. Yeah, so it's create effect and then attach to component. Okay, so like this. What is this all bitching about? Yeah, it's bitching about. Current value for the position is, yeah, whatever. It's going to be the drop shadow effect. We'll set that. get our flipbook, all of our stuff, and we're not gonna have this offset at all. Well, actually, we'll just do it like that. So you have to make it transform. Alright, we'll do that. Alright, then we want the drop shadow effect is valid. Request stop. Force. And, well, why don't we just do that. Okay, so then we go to the arena level. We would then go to what, player? So we've got this big stupid shadow on him. And what we probably should do here is have this enable drop shadow for players. It should actually be a drop shadow effect. And this will be a Dashkin effect actor class. Effects player drop shadow should be the default. And when we go to the level specific effects, we'll just snag that from the level. Get drop shadow effect. So we can have like a level specific effect for the drop shadow. I don't know about self-shadowing with the drop shadow stuff. If it'll just because so let's see.